As you can see, kids on psych drugs. This is from 2017. I think it's America, but drug class, all psychiatric drugs, and age group from 0 to 5, 500,000, 6 to 12, 3.5 million, 13 to 17, 3.5 million, 0 to 17, 7. So that in total 7.2135999 million. ADHD drugs and the ages. You can see, you can read it yourself, you pause it and read that. This is a disgrace. We are drugging or letting them drug our kids because they say there's made up diseases like ADHD. And kids at 0 to 5, antidepressants. How the hell can that be possible? Unless, of course, it's the schools that to blame, which I think it probably is. And this is just absolutely disgraceful. Natural alternatives to pharmaceuticals, amoxicillin, antibiotics in other words, oil of oregano, brilliant, that kills everything out. Black seed oil, another fantastic one. In fact, black seed oil is probably my favourite of the lot. Soursop leaf, now that's not just good as an antibiotic, it also makes your hair grow like crazy. Vitamin D, which is sunlight, we get from sunlight, and turmeric. Now turmeric is another beneficial spice. Synthroid, hyperthyroid problems, Irish sea moss, bladder rack, radish, banana, lisinopril and Norvasac. I'm guessing this is, anyway, lower high blood pressure, black seed oil, bananas, leafy greens, soursop, citrus fruits. Notice black seed oils in there again. Hydrocodone, pain relief, CBD oil. There you go, straight at the top, CBD oil. Turmeric, ginger, berries, and black seed oil yet again. I've got jars of that stuff in my house, and absolutely brilliant. Also, not just good internally. If you've got any itches or things like that, rub it on, takes it off, takes the itch away straight away. But that is way better than any of the pharmaceutical poisons, and there are no side effects. They are the effects. They just call them side effects. Intravenous vitamin C is a cancer killer, and the FDA wants it banned. Why do you think that is? Well, that's because the FDA is the strong arm of the pharmaceutical companies. They stop any natural remedies getting out there. This is why the FDA is the most hated alphabet agency after the CIA, the FBI, MI5, MI, you name it. They're all a bunch of twats at the end of the day. Vitamin C has a broad spectrum antioxidant function with the ability to protect cell structures and DNA from free radical damage. Vitamin C is remarkably safe even in enormously high doses compared to commonly used prescription drugs. Side effects are virtually non-existent. See that? Side effects, non-existent. Now, there are certain places you can go and you get this vitamin C injected into your blood for cancer. It kills cancer. It's a cancer cure. But Big Pharma don't want you to know that because, hey, you can't charge £100,000 for vitamin C, can you? Tamarind removes fluoride deposit from bones, research says. This is December 4th, 2018. A study published in the European Journal of Clinical Nutrition shows that tamarind can remove risky deposits of fluorides from the bones. The study investigates the potential abilities of tamarind in reducing the elevated levels of fluoride and increasing their excretion through urine. Now, what I think this would also help with, the pineal gland is calcified because of fluoride. Start getting some tamarind in you, clear your pineal gland out, and you'll start to see and realise what's really going on. Another misshape for Jean-Claude Juncker as the politician misses a step and takes a tumble before dinner at a top-level EU-African summit in Vienna because he was pissed again. European Commission President once again struggles to navigate some stairs. Mr. Juncker was attending a high-level forum, African-European in Vienna. Pictures show him being held and helped by multiple aides to stop him tumbling. At a NATO summit in July, he was seen stumbling backwards into world leaders. He has previously said he suffers from sciatica, which impairs his movement. But let's not mention the fact that he's a total pisshead, eh? Because he's drinking himself into stupidity, because he knows when the rest of the populations wake up, they're going to want this piece of shit on the first noose. France prepares last resort chemical weapon that can be smothered around Paris to keep yellow vest rioters away. They call them rioters. They're not rioters. They're pissed at the government like we are. Away from key buildings, and anti-Macron protests continue. As anti-Macron protests continue. So the French government are preparing to use chemical weapons on its own people. Government needs to go. 8 million people face struggle as banks dash to ditch cash, and majority don't want Britain to go cashless. Well, I certainly don't, because that the corruption involved in cashless is even easier. They just type in what bleed any number they want into their account. Hey, it's there. Simple. That's why we shouldn't go cash. Plus, they go cash, they've got you over barrel. You either use a card or you don't eat. Oh, your card doesn't work. Well, that's tough. You don't eat. They're desperate now. They can see it's all collapsing around them, so they're going to get. I strongly suspect it's going to get really, extremely desperate within the next 6 weeks. We're going to see so much shit going off. Be ready for it. Amazon is ordered to come clean about its UK tax bill amid fears that its commercial advantage is killing the high street. So far, Amazon has refused to reveal how much it pays in business rates. Nothing. But it is thought to be significantly lower than traditional retailers. Politicians are concerned a low tax bill gives Amazon a commercial advantage. Of course it does. They don't pay any tax. That's why, by plan, the high streets are collapsing, because business rates, which is another rip-off. Business Secretary Workers' Rights Blitz takes hit as his own staff vote to strike. Chaos all over the world at the moment, by design. Part of it is because they want to bring in their new world order after the chaos, as you'll see later on, because I've got some rather scary shit coming up. Macron, an enabler of the Kalergi plan. 200 million Africans will live in Europe after 30 years of invasion. And his note, the number of 200 million is based on a book that Macron refers to in his speech by French-American journalist and Professor Stephen Smith. Smith, an expert of Africa, estimates that the number of Africans living in Europe will grow from 9 million to between 150 and 200 million within the next 30 years. So this estimated number will be achieved by immigration. I told you, it's a planned invasion. Now, the Africans aren't to blame. They're just tools. They're just being used. But every government is involved. It's a worldwide conspiracy to destroy Europe. They're trying to destroy America. You've been warned. To further prove the point, the first man to receive the Charlemagne Prize was Kalergi. Charlemagne was seen as a great uniting force despite killing other non-Christian Europeans like a psychotic madman. You can read the article if you want. The links will be at the end, because I think I've got so many they wouldn't fit in the description. I'll try and fit them in as many as I can, but obviously I'll have to cut it back to wherever it goes. EU crisis. Belgium PM faces confidence vote as parliamentary majority collapse. Belgian Prime Minister Charles Michel is facing a no confidence vote this week, with the country's socialist faction likely to trigger the process on Tuesday following violent demonstrations which erupted outside the EU Commission over the weekend. There's more to this later. Banks to be banned from charging higher fees from unarranged overdrafts. Now, what I want you to take from this, right, is if the FCA can stop a bank from charging stupid interest rates, then they're in control of the banks. They can tell them to stop committing criminal acts of fraud every time they allegedly lend you anything, when you are the only cash that there is. You are who creates the money that the banks fraudulently pretend to lend you. Then they want you to pay it back with interest. That's why there's no such thing as a poor banker, because they create money, or you create the money. They simply facilitate it into cash, and then they steal it back off you. If you don't understand that, just go and look at Salon on debt, and you'll hear why I explain it much longer and much more explained. Parents' anger as third paedophile walks free from Hull Court in less than a month. Mark Whitehead, Gareth Roberts and Lee Holmes all walked free from court despite downloading child abuse images online. And what you take from this is that the majority of judges are also paedophiles, and because they wouldn't want to get locked up because they know they'd get the kicking of a lifetime, they're letting the other paedophiles out. Also, that lets them back on the streets to rape more children, just like the judges, the politicians, the royals, the councils. But if you're just going to sit there and do nothing, maybe we deserve it. I think someone said that you get the government you deserve. Well, if we deserve this one, we need to change it immediately. We need to get rid of governments, get rid of councils, get rid of courts, because they're just not real. They're fake. Courts are put there to protect the rich and to screw the poor. Systematic cover-up. Catholic sex abuse probe spreads to 45 states. This is America. I'm not going to read any more about it, but 45 states are looking into the Catholic priests who are raping children. What a shock! The courts, judges raping them, councils raping them, politicians raping them, royals raping them, the church is raping them. Everything's corrupt. It's time it changed. Here we go. British doctor, 70, is jailed for 5 years for paying girls as young as 9 to have unlimited sex in Cambodia, home where he stashed Barbie dolls next to condoms and lubricant. Clive Cressy paid up to $3,000 to have sex with girls aged between 9 and 13. His Vietnamese wife, Chi Sokathy, 27, helped him procure the young victims. Both were jailed for 5 years in Phnom Penh yesterday and will be deported afterwards, hopefully. But I doubt they'll last. Well, doubt he'll last in there. And if he doesn't, well, I think that's probably a good thing. One less dirty, scummy bastard off this planet. Now, some say that you shouldn't trust the media, but they always tell the truth, don't they? So, if you've got to trust the media, they'd never lie, would they? Oh, wait. French media caught doctoring images of yellow vest protests for television news. And as you can see there, it's Macron dégage. I don't know what it means. It's French, obviously. But in the bit picture below, it's been whited out. That's because the media is simply propaganda arm of the politicians, the royals, the councils, you name it. It's just propaganda. Signs of coming collapse. Citizens worldwide revolt against taxation and illegal aliens and crooked governments. Again, I'm not going to read it because I've only got limited time. The link will be at the end if you want it, or just do a search for the title up there, and you'll find it, I suppose. French police threaten to protest against Macron's government as yellow vest demonstrators are joined by blue vests. I don't know what that's about. Police forces urged by union bosses to protest against President Macron's cuts. The unions have warned of a black day for the police in a blue vest protest. Beleaguered police forces have faced 5 straight weeks of yellow vest protests. Earlier on Tuesday morning, toll booths were burned down on the French Riviera. Good. You know about that. Anyway, so this is the chaos that they're causing. Don't because this is the chaos they want to bring the new new world order in out of. Shall I say that when you're not thinking about it too much? However, they've underestimated the fact that the protest is spreading and everyone's had enough of the corrupt governments, corrupt police, corrupt politicians, corrupt councils, corrupt judges, you name it. Everything is corrupt on this planet, in the West anyway. I said we'd come back to this. Belgium Prime Minister Charles Michel resigns after losing no confidence vote. Resignation follows violent of course it's right wing because it's never just people that are sick to death of corrupt governments in Brussels over signing out of EU-UN migration pact. See, that's what it's about. The rest can see that it's an invasion backed by crooked politicians. We need to stand up, lock these bastards up. And look, what's he done? Resign. So he thinks he's getting away with it. Once this is over, he'll pay for his crimes. Belgian Prime Minister announces resignation. Reports. Belgian Prime Minister Jean-Claude was resigned amid pressure on his government after the largest party in his coalition quit over his support for the United Nations Global Compact for Migration, AP report Tuesday. So there, it's plain and simple. It's about this mass invasion that's been carried out by every government in Europe. Thankfully, the US is up to what's going on, and they've stopped it. But Theresa May has already signed it. Yeah, you didn't hear about it because it was when she was off on one of these tours. She signed up for the invasion of Britain. That is treason. Parents shock over £435 hospital parking charge for visiting their baby fighting for his life after his heart stopped. This is corruption. Absolute corruption. There should be no parking charges at hospitals. And there it is, £435.20. If you haven't had enough yet, you're taking too many drugs. Mirror. Jose's 15 million Christmas bonus. May plans for Brexit doomsday. One rule for them. The Tory TV licence hypocrites. MPs accept free perks as they turn their back on over 75 set to lose benefit. So these scum-sucking pieces of shit get free TV licences, whereas you, well, not me, because I don't watch TV, so I don't need a licence, and others that do watch the brain box, the mass hypnosis device, stop it. Stop watching TV. It's there to control you. The Guardian. Business watching in horror as PM plans for no-deal Brexit. Businesses of all sizes are reaching the point of no return. Kick the politicians out, run the country ourselves. Hey, we'll have an Eden. Universities warned they must curb grade inflation. No extra time. Mourinho fired by Man United. The scum. Man United sacked Mourinho. The special do one. He blew fun. Yeah, bullshit. I mean, it's just distraction. Exclusive reunion with Deck. Worker and star back at the job as Holly gives up celeb. Army on no deal standby. Now, remember a few days ago I told you about there's probably going to be martial law in America in January. Well, with this vote coming up in January, I strongly suspect we're going to have martial law in Britain in January as well, and probably in the rest of Europe, because that will be them trying to bring in their new world order out of the chaos that they've caused. You've been warned. She's planning martial law. Express. The sacked one. Josie gets the boot and a 15 million payoff. Scandal of salty food killing 4,000 a year. Well, if you're using that sort of salt, table salt, then yes, it will kill you, because table salt is 1/3 salt, 1/3 sand, 1/3 glass. And it's called table salt because they used to use it, sprinkle it on the table and clean the table with it. Pink Himalayan salt, on the other hand, has about 87 vitamins and minerals in it, and makes your food actually taste better and is good for you. Holly puts the jungle on ice. Whoopie-doo. Star. As Jose sacks, fans call for Fergie time. Yeah. Free can of Carobeo. That's poison, that is absolute poison. Holly, I quit jungle. The grit hits the fan. We've run out of salt at coldest time of year. Not by accident, that's by design. They deliberately have brought salt in. They want chaos. They are planning on chaos so they can bring in martial law and a dictatorship at the same time in January. The Times. Exercise as good as medicine in bringing blood pressure down. We should all be doing a bit more exercise, to be fair. May ditches key pledges to prepare for no deal Social care reform threatened by Brexit turmoil. This is absolute utter bollocks. We just repealed the 72 Act, we're out. We don't pay them 50 billion, we're just out. Well, we've got 50 billion to spend in this country, not given away to other countries. Spend it here, get everyone that's on the streets into a home, get everyone enough food so they're not starving. It's so simple. But we've got a corrupt, satanic, Luciferian, paedophile-run government, council, royals, courts, politicians. Time for change is now. Stand up or these bastards are going to stamp on you. Mourinho checks out with 500,000 hotel bill. Mail. Smirking all the way to the bank, Jose the special blah blah blah. Now it's no deal mayhem. Ministers put 3,500 troops on standby. I told you they were planning martial law. And add Blitz to warn all families. Yeah, right. But Remainer Tory MPs threaten to vote with Labour to force snap election. I've been saying for a long time, the plan is May's going to be kicked out. Election. Corbyn comes in, another referendum, they fix it to Remain. Treason. Holly goes from Jungle Bell to ice cream. Yeah. Tell, lie, graph. RAB, cut business tax with EU 39 billion. Parasite, the guest star. Universities told to halt grade inflation. No more excuses on cutting salt in food. Yes, table salt, but pink Himalayan salt, use that instead. And the food will not just taste better, it'll be full of vitamins and minerals, which they don't want. They want you ill, sick and poor. Let's face it, they're doing a bloody good job of that. Cashless UK will leave elderly people behind. See, along with the martial law, they're going to try and bring in a cashless society at the same time, which is anti-democratic, anti-human. Exercise to cut blood pressure. Quite a bit about health today, and I suppose it's funny that I actually started off with the 3 or 4 things on health, but not by design. The sacked one, yeah. Dreaming of a vegan Christmas. Nah, I actually like me traditional. Britain moves to war footing for a no-deal Brexit. Shock as public and business are told to prepare for hard split from EU. Repeal the 72 Act, we're out. No hard split, it's dead simple. Airlines, lorries, ferries and medicine supplies all face major impact. Oh, what a pack of bullshit, lying shit. 3,500 British troops placed on standby to deal with any crisis. Well, we can also use them for martial law, can't we? Economists warn of blow to UK jobs and trade with Europe. Well, we can trade with the rest of the world. We could do before we joined Europe, but after joining Europe, we couldn't trade with the rest of the world. So let's repeal the 72 Act and trade with the rest of the world instead of Europe. If they want to trade with us, they'll trade with us on our terms, not theirs. Downing Street denies ministers are considering state of emergency. Martial law. Cabinet clashes with May over her refusal to let MPs vote on options. SNP, Lib Dems, Greens, Plaid Cymru table vote of no confidence in government. And of course that happens. Snap election, Corbyn's in, referendum, fix it to Remain. That was the plan all along. 2 women are killed every week and we need good men to help stop it. Unis told to end degree inflation, overdraft fees face overhaul. Metro, Mourinho go. Now May puts the army on no deal standby. 3,500 troops, more like 35,000 to be fair, 35,000, are ready to be deployed. 2 billion released from PM's preparations. Now, yeah, I want you to just think about this. 2 billion released for the preparations. That 2 billion could have ended homelessness and hunger in Britain. But we're run by Satanists. Meg Charles the Golden Oldies. Parasite. Del Funny and Nazi, who called their son Adolf. Limit on chaos at checkpoints is working. That's the blue line at the bottom there. Anything but independent. Brussels is betting on a referendum. Of course it is, because they've already planned it. I've just explained to you exactly what the plan is. That's why they know there's going to be one. Why the jihadis have gone south. Doctors do not hear women of colour. Oh, piss off. Set up President Putin and Belarus. A special sacking. The tantrums and trouble that toppled Mourinho. Thousands of troops on standby for no-deal Brexit. Cabinet split over risk of crashing out of as May commits billions. I just think, we leave EU, we get the money, we've got all that money, we get 50 million a day. This could be the most beautiful, special country on the planet if we got rid of the government. Financial Times. Today's nationalism is a threat to peace and cooperation. Martin Wolf. Zionist piece of shit. He's saying nationalism because, you know, if you love your country and you want your country to do well, then you're against peace and cooperation. When in actual fact, it's the opposite way round. Because you love your country, you are a nationalist and you want your country to do well. But according to this piece of shit, you're a threat to peace. Can we see how these papers control your mind? Habitat for Humanity tackles rising homelessness, but not in the UK. With Goshen gone, CEO Sakawa around Rough Road. Disunited Mourinho £10 million. Is it 10 or 15? Because they keep changing the prices. May defies business fears to push through Brexit immigration curbs. In other words, let them all in. Because she's already signed the UN Pact. Battle over £30,000 threshold for job seeker visas. Economic impact dismay Hammond. There is a difference between them listening and them hearing. We all know that one.